Everybody, welcome back to the WRESTLEDUDE YouTube channel with AEW's unnamed console game coming out at some point in the near future. AEW has kind of been giving us updates on the game. Most recently, as of this recording, they showed off footage of them doing like the sound stuff of like getting the noises of like bouncing off the rings, breaking tables, kendo stick shots, and all that jazz. And it got me thinking about some stuff about what's going to be in the game, most notably arenas, because, you know, obviously over the past year, AEW has been running out of the same arena, and kind of the only big differences in all these arenas has been like some stage dressing, you know, like for pay-per-views and stuff like that. Full Gear has like all the literal gears around. Beach Break had like surfboards and sand and palm trees and stuff like that. And I was thinking, you know, what are some more crazy arenas, or I guess in terms of this list, some crazy places where we could have matches and brawls and stuff like that. So I put together this list. This is going to be 8 possible arena ideas for the AEW console game. Now, I know probably the game is probably way too far into development to add in any of these arenas, so these are really just fever dreams of mine to be added in, but hey, you never know, you gotta shoot your shot at some point. So, I mean, if the AEW Games team is watching this and you have any ideas about implementing these into the game, just saying, take them if you want them. But before we get started, make sure you leave a thumbs up down below, and let me know in the comment section below what arenas you would want to see in the AEW video game. But let's get started with number 8. Number 8 is going to be the Street Fight Arena from AEW Revolution 2021. Obviously the matchup between Darby Allin and Sting versus Team Taz in this cool like warehouse area with like 2 stories, and it works as an arena because there was a ring in that warehouse, and it was surrounded by all the hoodlums wearing Sting and Darby Allin face paint and stuff like that. I just think it's a really cool setting. You know, there's a lot of history there. You know, it could be the Street Fight Arena, which sounds pretty cool to have it in that area. You can do all the stuff like the balcony where Darby Allin dove off, and like the platform that leads down to like the basement floor and stuff like that. Yeah, there's a lot of potential for a lot of weapons around there and a lot of really cool moments. I just think it's a really cool setting. And after watching the matchup again from Revolution, I definitely think it deserves to be in the game as one of the arenas potentially. Alright, next up we are sticking with the outside area, and we are going straight to the parking lot brawl, thought of after the 5-star parking lot brawl that was the Best Friends versus Pride and Powerful, Santana and Ortiz. You can have this set up basically the same way it was on TV, you know, a circle of cars with like some NPCs around just cheering on the action. You know, you got all the cool stuff. You can open up trunks and grab weapons. You can have the pickup truck with the board across it, so you can do like big moves through that. Again, another cool location that's a part of AEW history that would be really cool to be implemented into the game. And I feel like we could do just 1v1, but you could also have tag team parking lot brawls. Obviously we saw that with Best Friends and Pride and Powerful, and yeah, I just think this would be a really cool place and a really cool location to do these parking lot brawls and have a little bit of recreation of history between the Best Friends and Pride and Powerful, who I would assume would be in the game. Next up, number 6, we have Chris Jericho's Jericho Cruise. Now obviously there have been 2 Jericho Cruises as of this video coming out. One of them was not a part of AEW. The second one was. They actually filmed an episode of AEW Dynamite on the Jericho Cruise where we saw Hangman Page and Kenny Omega become the tag team champions. It's such an interesting location to have a ring on. It's on a cruise ship, which sounds so awesome, and I love that that was part of the show. It just gave it like a whole different feeling, like instead of just being in an arena, you're on a boat in the middle of water. This could be a really cool place. You have the raised platform and stuff like that. An Easter egg that I would like to see added in, if you guys know what I'm talking about here, I have here in parentheses, add in the bird. Now, if you guys don't know, there was something that happened at one of the Jericho Cruises where all of a sudden, like a pigeon, or not a pigeon, a pelican, or no, seagull, that's what it was, a seagull or something, some kind of bird landed in the middle of the ring. Like, I don't think it was during a match, but it was like during the show. You don't have to have it land in the ring, but I feel like having like a lone seagull flying around could be a nice little Easter egg, a nice little nod to that happening. But yeah, if you want to go one step further and get it even more wacky, I say you have an OMG type of moment where you throw somebody overboard off the ship. I feel like that could be pretty cool. But yeah, Jericho Cruise is another really cool location that I feel like would be really great. Another OMG moment that I would like to see added with this arena. There was a pool. There was a pool that MJF got thrown into on the Jericho Cruise. So if you don't want to do them getting thrown into the ocean, seeing them getting thrown into the pool would probably be the next best thing. So, just saying. And next up, we have the Backstage Area / Concourse, and this is another part of AEW history. We all know the big, famous Concourse Brawl between the Inner Circle and Cody Rhodes' group, which at the time included MJF, and had the iconic line of JR saying, "Not the Dippin' Dots." So obviously the Dippin' Dots have to be in there somewhere. I don't know if they would be able to call them Dippin' Dots in the game, but I feel like they can come up with like some kind of different name for it, you know, dot ice cream or spherical ice cream, I don't know, something like that. Just having a whole concourse area, I feel like would be really cool to add into the game. You know, this could be implemented as part of the AEW arena. You know, you fight into the crowd, you can go up to the concourse area, or they can just have this as a separate, like, backstage brawl arena, or it can be added into something else, which I'll get into here in a second. But yeah, the concourse area, another part of AEW history that I feel like would be really cool to see as an arena. Moving on, we have the Hardy Compound, aka the Dome of Deletion. Obviously, it's like Matt Hardy's home, where obviously they had rings set up. It was for the Elite Deletion between Matt Hardy and Sammy Guevara, and you could have that sort of set up. You could have two different areas. You could have the ring out like amongst the trees and stuff like that, with like weapons strewn around and stuff like that, maybe even some fireworks, who knows. Or you could have the Dome of Deletion the same kind of way, where you have weapons strewn about, and there's the lone ring in there. I just think it's a really cool setting. Like I've been saying, all these arenas pretty much have some sort of significance towards AEW fandom and AEW history, and having the Hardy Compound included in this, you don't even have to label it as the Hardy Compound. Like, it can just be like, you call it the Dome of Deletion or something like that. If I don't know if there's some reason you can't label it as the Hardy Compound, but again, this is just a really cool example of just interesting settings for wrestling matches to take place that aren't just in an arena with a ring and fancy stage dressing. This next one is kind of smaller, but again, it is kind of one of those things that I feel like could make a really cool brawling area on its own. An AEW Bar. Most notably from the Stadium Stampede match, where Hangman Adam Page, Kenny Omega, Jake Hager, they all brawled inside the bar. I mean, you could do a custom bar like this. We've seen locations like this in some older like WWE games, where it was like a disco studio or something like that, like a disco club or something like that. You know, the Undertaker would do like old school off of like a railing, which was pretty cool. You could have something similar like that with a bar here, you know, get a cool OMG moment of like taking somebody and like running them across the top of the counter, kind of like what Jake Hager did to Hangman Page in the Stadium Stampede match. Yeah, just another really cool location. Obviously, you couldn't really have a ring in the bar. I guess you could, although I don't know anyone wants a reminder of that right now. But yeah, the AEW Bar type of brawling arena I feel like would be really cool, and obviously there would be some really great moments there for Hangman Adam Page, you know, winning the match, sitting down, having a drink to celebrate. It's just another really cool location that I would like to see added into the game. So this next one is a little interesting, considering I've already talked about pretty much two big parts of it already. This is Jacksonville Stadium, and if you can't call it Jacksonville Stadium, you could just call it Football Stadium, because what I would like to see is the Stadium Stampede Arena. Now, I've already talked about the concourse area and the AEW bar just a second ago, obviously those were parts of the Stadium Stampede, although I feel like if you do a full football stadium like arena, you can't really add in the bar and the concourse. So maybe you would just do like the football field, you know, you got the cheerleaders around, you got the ring in the middle of the field at the 50-yard line, and then you have like an area up in the stands where you can brawl, kind of like where Kenny Omega hit that insane one-winged angel off down through the freaking platform. You could have a ladder leading up the top of the goal post, and you could do a dive off the goal post like the Young Bucks did. It's just again, another really cool setting for a wrestling match to take place. Obviously, we've seen wrestling shows take place in football stadiums, but having it like this with the football field setup and stuff like that, with no fans and pretty much no fans in the arena. I'm sure there were some people. No fans in the area, and having all these really cool moments. I just feel like it's a really awesome setting, and you have the option for really cool weapons. What if you put like a football on the ground and you can pick up the football and it's like a projectile weapon, you can toss it at your opponent? That would be really cool. Or you put on like a helmet and you can headbutt them with like a football helmet on. That's another really cool idea. Oh, and the golf cart. The golf cart's gotta come into play at some point. Whether you put it in the concourse area or you put it in the Stadium Stampede arena, the golf course has gotta be somewhere in the game as an OMG moment. It's just too iconic to AEW not to have some sort of callback to that golf cart moment with Sammy Guevara. It would just be so insane to see that in a game, and seeing the Stadium Stampede arena in a game. Now, my final arena that I want to talk about here is a little plain, you may think at first, but I feel like it's very special. It is the AEW Dailies Place arena. Now, obviously, AEW over the past year has been filming at Dailies Place, and I feel like that arena, after seeing it for so long, has really become a really big part of AEW. They've ran it before for one of their shows, Fight for the Fallen, and then they did it for the New Year's special episode of AEW, but it was filmed a lot different back then. Now it's like hard cam is facing towards the entranceway, where before the entranceway was kind of off to the side, and you had like this raised platform where the fans would sit. But having it set up like this really has made that into its own sort of area, and a lot of history has happened in that arena, which is why I feel like it should be implemented into the game here. Again, it's got a really cool setting. It's like an outdoor setting on the sides. You got like a nice breeze area coming through. Obviously that wouldn't really matter in a video game, but aesthetically it looks really nice. And you got like the high raised stage platform. You've got the little table off to the side. A lot of cool OMG moments could happen there, where you toss somebody off the stage and they go through the table. FTR's like entrance ramp area off to the side. You could have the cool stuff happen with that. It's just a really iconic arena. A lot of cool stuff has happened there, and I do feel like a lot of these other arenas and places like that, it has a lot of history with AEW, and having the Dailies Place arena, I feel like would really just be really cool for this game. Like I said, the Dailies Place arena has become a big part of AEW. It's almost iconic. I would say that Dailies Place is like the Madison Square Garden of AEW right now, and seemingly will be for the foreseeable future. And yeah, I would just love to see it in the AEW consoles game, along with all these other arenas. But let me know in the comment section below, what arenas would you like to see in the AEW consoles game? Is it one of these ones, or is it one that I haven't listed? Let me know down below.